Hello class, in this video we're going to go over working with the eraser tool within Illustrator. Now the eraser tool is really cool because yes, it kind of does what you expect it to do, but it also has some really cool functionality that you might not expect it. Let's go ahead and create a couple of shapes. I'm just going to create some shapes. Let me go ahead and change the fill color so we can actually see this. I'm going to apply red into these shapes. I'm just creating just a couple of shapes, something that it could have to work with. Here's an ellipse, uh, a square, and a rectangle, and a star. Sorry. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to deselect so that nothing is selected with the eraser tool. The eraser tool kind of works like a brush in that you could create a larger brush by changing the size by going to the square brackets. Just right to the letter P. You could make a smaller one or a larger one. I selected the wrong button. With this tool, if I go over a shape, once I let go of the mouse button, it will basically erase that section, and notice that it creates closed paths. I'm going to go ahead and select this shape right here. This has a stroke outline that goes all the way around that shape. So I could technically change the color. Let's go ahead and use orange and make the stroke value thicker just so you can see the difference. Now you don't need to select the shape that you want to cut through. That's a wrong wrong brush. The eraser. I could go over this one. I could continue to go over these different shapes, and it cuts through everything. Now, if you do select one shape, I'm going to hold down Command or Control on my keyboard to select this specific shape. As I go around, it's only going to erase from the shape that I have selected. I'm going to let go of the mouse button, and notice only this shape, because this is selected, is going to be removed from. It's going to be worked on. Now, one way that you could use this tool with your other tools, I created these all in the same document. Let me bring back my previous designs. So what I could do, now this tool also, well here, before, I'm just going to create some holes here. I'm going to make my brush a little bit smaller. So kind of creating some like highlights or reflections. I could go in this one. I'm erasing a section from this shape. So if I go into this one, okay, there's not red underneath it, so you can't see it. But if I were to select it specifically and use my eraser tool, it's only going to erase those sections of my path that are selected. But if I deselect it and I go through and erase, say I'm going to go right down the center right here, it's erasing through everything. Now this tool, I was going to mention a moment ago, also makes use of your stylus. So I'm going to double click the eraser tool options. Right here under size, no matter what size this is, I'm going to change it where it says fixed to tell it pressure and change this variation. Move this slider all the way to the right. This gives me a 1-to-1. So now what I'm able to do is I'm able to press slightly or thick to create a different style, to create different line qualities. Now this is going through everything. You see how I'm able to erase these different areas. Again, this is me using my stylus, my tablet. Now if I only want to select one area, I'm going to hold down Command. This is my keyboard shortcut to my selection tool. I have this shape right here selected. It's only going to be isolated to this shape. I'm going to deselect it. So you have something that looks like this. So you're able to do some really cool things with this tool, which you could also do. I'm going to zoom in here. You could also use this. I'm going to make a larger brush, and you could use this to kind of make certain areas thinner, sharper. So say I want this to be a point. I can go through here and kind of shave some of it off. I'm going right here to shave some of that off. So I have these points. You do something like that. But this is working with the eraser tool. So the eraser tool is also a useful tool where you're able to create a shape and then decide later on is like, you know what, I want to empty out this shape. Either that was with the stylus, or I could just use my mouse and say I'm going to go ahead and just use my mouse to empty out some of these shapes. As such, so great. So now we've gone over different tools, and I want you to be able to use all these different tools and put them to use with the assignment number 7. So I look forward to seeing what you're able to do. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I believe I will see you in the next video.